to the breaking developments right now on the Seminole murders. Our team of reporters uncovering crucial new clues that officers found as they arrested the man they say is responsible for murdering 4 random innocent people, Dia.
And James, their families in that neighborhood, they can rest a whole lot easier right now. We just got this mugshot, this one right here this morning, moments after police locked him up in jail just a few hours ago. Want to get right to ABC Action News reporter Lauren St. Germain. She is live right now with the new details about what police have found since you went to bed last night. Good morning, Lauren. What's the new information?
Good morning, James and Dia. A lot of new, really intriguing information. Something that really stuck out in that arrest affidavit was the suspected killer, Howell Donaldson, said that he had no affiliation with Seminole Heights, no association with that location. And this is completely different than what Tampa police had been saying for a while, because they thought that the killer was from the area and really knew the area. So interesting piece of information right there. Let's go to some video right now. This is authorities bringing Howell Donaldson from Tampa Police Headquarters to the Hillsborough County Jail where he is right now. They questioned him for hours last night, and then they decided they had enough evidence to charge him with all 4 murders that happened in Seminole Heights within the past 2 months. We also watched yesterday as officers looked through clothing. That clothing was similar to the clothing seen on the person in those 2 surveillance videos. In the affidavit, we also learned that one piece of the clothing also had a blood stain on it. We learned that he bought a 20 box of ammunition and picked up the gun that he purchased on October 7th. The homicide started on October 9th. The affidavit also says casings investigators found in the first 3 murders were fired from the same weapon. We do expect Tampa police to hold another press conference at some point this morning, giving us more information. In particular, we're pretty curious about a motive. Now, coming up
this morning, we're learning more about the Seminole Heights killer arrested here at the McDonald's in Ybor City.
ABC Action News reporter Ashley Yore is live out there right now. Ashley, we're learning some intimate new details about Donaldson from his former co-workers at that McDonald's.
That's right, Dia. Good morning. And, you know, co-workers out here, they're saying that Donaldson actually worked here at this McDonald's and he spooked other employees. They're saying he wasn't part of their work family. But this is exclusive video of 24-year-old Howell Donaldson. One employee says yesterday the suspect handed off a loaded gun to a manager. Then that manager flagged down a police officer who was inside the McDonald's. Now, the employee we spoke with says she saw a sketch of the killer and kept thinking it was Donaldson. She says in the past she even teased Donaldson about his resemblance to the Seminole Heights killer.
I told him that you look like a killer. And he said, do I really? I said, yeah. You know, and I was just saying that because I've been saying stuff. I don't know why. I just been digging at him, but he ain't do nothing to me. But he gave me that look like, don't mess with me.
And that employee tells us she's thankful there was an officer inside the McDonald's and that they're all okay. Coming up in the next half hour, what that employee says about the moment police showed her a photo of the suspect without any facial hair. Reporting live here in Ybor City, I'm Ashley Yore, ABC Action News.
Thank you, Ashley. And at this moment, just a wave of emotions is flooding through the families of these 4 murder victims.
Yeah, it is bittersweet for them. Melissa Mahadeo joins us now from East Seminole Heights this morning. Melissa, of course, this is the moment that those victims, families, and of course the whole neighborhood has been waiting so long for.
Yeah, Dee and James, these families have been counting the days. They've been holding their breath. They've been pacing back and forth. And finally, just now, they can finally just take a second and let this all soak in. Now, Monica Hoffa's uncle is one of those individuals. He was at the press conference last night, and we spoke with him. She was the second victim killed in these murders, killed on October 11th. For more than a month, Robert Hoffa tells us he's been praying, he's been speaking out, he's been sporting a hat with Monica's name, doing whatever he could to bring awareness to finding his niece's killer. He says these trying times have also brought about a closeness and a bond between the families and officers.
Yes, I feel like we're family now. I mean, we've been together for 51 days now, thick and thin, and I'm supporting them 100% on everything they did. I appreciate everything and all their time that they've spent away from their families.
The family creating this memorial to remember Monica, but they're doing even more than that. They say they plan to set up a scholarship fund for the deaf in Monica's name as well. We'll keep you posted on that. For right now, Melissa Mahadeo, ABC Action News.
Okay, Melissa, here's a timeline. Let's take you through the last 51 days that brought police to this arrest. We start on October 9th. 22-year-old Benjamin Mitchell was shot at a bus stop. Then just 2 days later, 32-year-old Monica Hoffa shot and killed while walking to a friend's house. The following week, October 19th, 20-year-old Anthony Naboa is killed after getting off at the wrong bus stop. And 2 weeks ago, on November 14th, 60-year-old Ronald Felton was shot and killed while walking to his church to prepare meals for the homeless. And that brings us to just hours ago when police announced the arrest of Howell Donaldson III. And there's still a lot.
It is November 28, 2017. It's 4:30 p.m. We're here at the police headquarters. My name is Kenny Neitlinger, detective with Tampa Police. This is Detective Austin Hill, and we are here with, sir, if you can state your name.
Howell Donaldson.
And your date of birth, Mr. Donaldson?
01/26/93.
And we were just talking before we went on record. I see you have a McDonald's name tag, Trai, Trai. You said that was a nickname because you're third generation.
Yes, yes.
And you might be using basketball reference to it
Yes,
as well.
yes.
And just to satisfy my curiosity, somebody said you played basketball for TC?
Yeah, I went to Tampa Catholic.
Okay.
Played ball for them in high school.
Are you playing now at St. John's? 'Cause you said you were...
Not anymore. I plan on going further with my basketball career.
At St. John's?
No, actually professionally.
Okay, because I get to join the amateur European circuit, and
exactly.
then it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a college basketball fan, so I'm curious now.
Okay.
Did you play at all at St. John's, or were you trying on at St. John's?
I played 2 years at St. John's.
Who'd you play for there? Was Lavin still there?
Lavin, when I came there, Lavin had prostate cancer, but he was the head coach at the time.
Okay.
The assistant coach did all the X's and O's. Mike Dunlap, he's the head coach at LMU right now, Loyola Marymount.
Mm-hmm.
And so he was the man.
Okay. Did he recruit? Is he the one that recruited you?
Yeah.
Not Dunlap, but I mean Lavin.
Yeah.
Okay.
I walked on, but I got friends that went to St. John's that told me to go to St. John's. So,
okay.
Yeah, it's you get
like an invitation to walk on.
Right.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I gotta know because I mean Lavin. Is he the real deal? Is he Lavin? Is he? I mean, I know he experienced an illness when you were there, but I mean, is that a real deal program? Those guys
it is.
On the up and up.
It's definitely a real deal program now that Mullen's there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that did Chris Mullins go over for Lavin?
Yeah.
Okay. Mullins used to play there, didn't he?
Yeah. Mullen was he played there.
Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. So what do you make of all the stuff that's going on now with some of the Lavin's cronies? Do you think that, I mean, is there another side to college basketball that the public doesn't see? I mean, you would have the inside information.
Absolutely.
Now, keep in mind, none of this is going to be used for anything.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You think it's definitely some shady stuff going on, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Always.
I think everybody expects that. But, all right. Did you play minutes?
I didn't. It was just complicated, but everything's coming full circle for me now. Just continue to learn some things that I didn't know about, some things that I still don't know about, but some things that I got to do. But everything is it seems to be coming together.
For you, you mean?
Yeah, personally, individually.
Now, is that for your personal life, or is that talking about your professional life?
Both.
Okay.
Yeah.
How long had you been up at St. John's?
I was up at St. John's 5 years.
And you just came back just recently?
I came back and I left, but just came back recently, not too long ago.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And you said you were staying in town and country with your mom and your dad.
That's correct.
You have any brothers and sisters over there?
Brother.
Uh-huh. Okay. Does he play basketball too?
He does.
And what position are you?
Point guard.
Because I mean, you're not. What are you? 6'2"?
5'11", no shoes, but they'll list me at 6'1".
6'1". Are you 5'11"? No.
Yeah.
Are you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I give you 6 foot.
I would easily give you 6 foot.
Yeah.
Either that or I'm not giving myself 5'10". Then I got to give up on that.
Yeah.
All right. So 5'11", 6'1", though in the programs.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Right.
So you're a ball handler then.
Yes.
All right. At TC, obviously the same thing.
Oh yeah. Uh-huh.
When did you play there?
07, 08, 08, 09, and then I transferred to Plant.
Oh, okay. So you finished up at Plant.
No, I finished up at Alonzo.
Okay, so you went to Plant and then went to Alonzo.
Uh-huh.
Okay. All right. And did you play at all schools, or did you have to sit out a certain time when you transferred?
No, I actually played. My eligibility was pretty good. No sitting out.
No, there's no. I wasn't sure how that works in high school sports. If you have to sit out when you transfer from one school to another because of whatever competitive.
Right. Everything went pretty smooth.
Okay. All right. Good. You said now, and this is where we're told some things at the McDonald's we were talking about. I want to go right to you and kind of clear some of that up. Man, this is us in here talking. And again, anytime you feel like you're done talking, you can jet out of here, man. You're free to go. We've kind of just the safety issues with us are over for right now. But we would still like to get to the bottom, as I discussed before, as to why we were all called there to begin with. Talking to your is it your manager that's in there? All right. She had mentioned that maybe that you may be without a place to stay.
Right.
You told us that you're staying with your family, though. I said I'm not meant to embarrass you, but do you live with your family? Are you having some outs with the parents, or?
Yeah, I'm just don't really have. I'm just financially down right now, so I'm going back to school to get my finances back, to get to regroup. Just some things that I didn't know about, and like I said, everything seems to be coming full circle for me.
Okay.
And I'm just going my separate way right now.
From your parents?
Yeah.
I mean, point blank. I mean, we've all been there. You having a falling out with mom and dad right now?
Mm-hmm.
Is that I don't want to put words in your mouth?
Yeah. Not necessarily a falling out, just some.
Difference of opinion?
You're grown, right? And I know what it's like because I was once there. A grown child in the parents' house
is not good.
There you go.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah, so it's just,
And let me guess. I mean, this is a guess because, maybe I completely off base, but they're ready for you to give up on the dream and get to work. Or no, are they behind your dream here? Basketball.
I don't know. I don't know. That's not really any of my concern.
That's not part of it?
That's not an issue?
Yeah, that's
okay.
Not
you just don't want to be living with mom and dad?
Yeah, that's not really any of my concern, like if they want me to give up my dream or not.
Is it like house rules?
I got to keep pushing for me.
Okay, so you don't curfew impose, that kind of thing? You don't want to be under those rules?
Yeah, exactly.
That's you. It's not so much they don't want you there, is you don't want to. You are. How old are you?
I'll be 25 in January.
You're a young man,
right?
And I don't want to have to be home by these time. I don't want to have to answer these questions because I'm 25. But I mean, I imagine they have their own set of rules because you're still their son.
Right.
Okay. All right. I mean, that is why you. So to say you're without a place, it's by choice. You could go back there, but you have to live by their rules, and you're not. You know what? I'd rather be out on my own. And
right.
Have you been staying with anybody in between? I mean, is there a place that you can?
Yeah, I mean, I have friends, but I'm going back to New York to, like I said, continue to pursue my education, which is.
How far along did you get?
I graduated.
Oh, you graduated?
Yeah.
Okay. So you graduated with a college degree.
I did.
In what?
Sports management.
Okay. Are you going back to St. John's then to go back for further learning, or are you going back to St. John's for just go back to the area because you like the area?
Yeah, I want to get my master's
from St. John's.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I want to get my master's, and that's what I want to do.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So then I was completely off base. So you've completed school, and you're just going back, and you want to go back to the same school to finish your to get your master's.
Right.
Have you started yet with your master's?
I haven't. I've started documentation. Everything seems to be going smoothly. Professors have put all in and said that, hey, Howell, we want to see you do it.
Okay.
We know you can.
So you're confident you'll get accepted into the program, or have you already been accepted into a master's program?
That's correct.
You've already been accepted?
I'm confident I will.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
You like that area in New York then more than here? Is that would you rather be up there starting your life, or?
I mean, it's just I've been there for so long. It's kind of my territory to say.
You're comfortable.
Okay.
Good. I mean, why not University of Florida or University of Tampa or USF? Why not local? I mean, do you have family up in New York?
Not in New York. I have family in New Jersey.
Okay, so not far. Okay. All right. So if you needed some support group, you have a support group up there. It's not just you throwing caution to the wind and going up there on your own. I mean, which is bold anyway. But I mean, which is great. But I mean, you do have somebody up there.
Yeah.
Okay. Mom and dad supporting your decision to go back?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. How old's your brother?
He is 12.
Oh, okay. So he's just starting his basketball career.
Yeah. He's just getting going.
How is he?
He's solid.
Yeah?
He's solid.
You think he's going to follow Big Brother's footsteps?
We'll see. That's his decision.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I mean, as far as capability?
Capability, yes. Talent, we'll see.
Okay.
Everybody's different. But if he wants it, he can get it.
Okay. All right. How long have you been back in Tampa since graduating? Has it been just since, I know you started McDonald's in September?
Yeah. I've been back in Tampa. Like I said, I came and then I left. But yeah, I've been back since September.
Okay. Oh, so just in September recently. Okay. How you've been staying at your mom and dad's place?
So.
Is there any other place else? Do you have stuff belongs anywhere else, or is mom and dad where you got everything? All your stuff's there.
Pretty much.
Okay. All right. All right. And so they know you're trying to get back up to New York.
Yeah.
Okay. And you said something about calling your dad if need be to, if you're going to go to the airport.
Yeah. I mean, I'll call him later.
Okay. All right. We'll talk about where were you? What brought us here today? All right. Like I said, there is a lot of concern in general public for safety when it comes to firearms.
Right.
Any type of firearm is introduced in the equation, regardless of what the equation is, especially a public place like a restaurant. It makes people very, very nervous.
Right.
And it elicits a huge response, obviously, from law enforcement when you're dealing with the unknown involving a firearm. All right. So we got involved in this because of that. All right. What I would ultimately like to know is that, as far as you're concerned, is that firearm something is that a legitimate purchase? Can that come back to something somewhere else?
Completely legitimate.
A pawn shop, gun store?
Oh no. I went to the gun store to purchase the gun.
Okay.
Completely legitimate.
You bought it. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Do you have a concealed weapons permit?
I don't.
Okay.
I don't.
Are you working toward it? Your plans?
Yeah, I am.
I know New York has different rules when it comes to firearms, regardless of all that. But I don't know. Did you plan on taking it with you?
Well, no. I didn't plan on taking it with me until I figured out, like you said, the laws and things like that.
Okay.
So,
walk me through then. So I understand. Explain to me what happened. How did it ended up in McDonald's where it is now? What was the whole plan?
Like I said, I was going back to St. John's, and I didn't want the firearm to be in my home with my little brother. Accidents happen.
Okay, sure.
And I know he likes to, just start searching for stuff. I can put it in a good place, but it's not good enough for him. He's older now. It's not like he's 8 or 7 anymore.
Okay.
So I wanted to move it, and I wanted to, give it to someone to put it away.
Okay. All right. And this someone was.
She was.
Yeah, the woman at the McDonald's. She's a manager?
Yeah, she is. She's
Delonda?
Delonda.
Yeah.
Miss Walker.
Miss Walker.
How long have you known her?
I've known her since September.
Okay, so you didn't know her going in?
No. But she seemed to be a very stand-up lady. Okay. And just got a good feel about her.
Okay. So explain to me how it came to be that you. What prompted you to decide to bring it to her?
Well, she's my supervisor.
Okay.
So, since I've been there, she has instilled in me, good and positive things.
Okay.
So, I just felt like, okay, she's a good person, she's a safe person I can bring it to, and that's just how I came about it.
Do you keep it? Do you have like a locker at McDonald's? Do you keep it in there normally, or do you keep it to and from your place in town and country?
Yeah. I don't even bring it. So
where do you usually keep it?
I usually keep it in my car.
In your car.
Yeah.
Okay.
So 2-3 moves away, I've got the protocol and whatnot like that.
So you're talking about to get to it in the car.
Yeah.
Explain to me, how do you normally keep it locked up in your car?
Just in the trunk.
You just put it in the trunk.
Yeah.
Okay. You keep it in a bag, in a holster, or how do you
I can just keep it in my bag.
Excuse me 1 second. I'm sorry. I hate to know this. You good? Anything else?
And just so you're aware, there is nothing that. So the old 2-step, 3-step thing is. I'm sure there are some states that still practice that. In the state of Florida, if it's locked in the trunk and it's not in the passenger compartment with you, it's good. Okay. There's no issue with that. So in the state of Florida, it either has to be in a container with a lid, or which includes your center console, your glove box, or snapped in a holster. Okay. So like a holster that has a snap that goes around it. That's it. Okay. Loaded is good. All that stuff is fine. So what you're describing is perfectly legitimate as far as storage of the gun in your car.
Right.
There's nothing that says that you can't have a gun locked in your trunk.
Right.
Whatsoever.
I'm
Okay.
completely aware.
So just so you know, I mean, like I said, the old, 1 step, 2 step. Some people think you have to keep the ammo separate and all that stuff. It's not the case. Container with a lid, and that's the way the law reads. So as far as I know, that could be a Tupperware container, right? Or snapped in a holster. Those are your 2 options.
Okay.
And that's if the gun is in the passenger compartment with you. If you got it locked in the trunk, you're solid. Okay. So no concerns there. We're not trying to trip you up or catch you in how you store your gun, but I want to let you know that that's totally legitimate, totally above board. Okay.
Hey, probably the door. It's getting a little warmer here. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll just leave that open. I'm sorry I walked in late on that. I had to take that phone call. But I kept it in the trunk and then.
Yeah, we're just discussing the storage of the gun.
Okay.
Like I said, totally legitimate. As long as it's locked up in the trunk, not in the passenger compartment with you, you're good.
Okay. All right. What you put it in a? What was it in today? It was in a. Somebody said it was a salad bag. Did you put it in the salad bag?
Yeah, I put it in a brown bag, and yeah.
Okay. All right. Is that did you bring it in the brown bag, and then when you got in the restaurant, put it in the salad bag? You already have a salad bag. Like extra salad bags from working in the car.
Salad bag. Yeah.
Which one? You have the salad bags already out there?
Yeah, it was a salad bag. I put it in the brown bag first, and then I put it in another bag, and then I put it in the salad bag.
Okay. Which brings me to a bag. Did you have another bag with you?
Another bag with me?
Like a backpack?
Yeah, I did.
What does that look like?
It's a Nike bag.
Okay, it's not a New York Yankees?
No.
Okay, the manager was asking about a New York Yankees bag in her office. No one can account for it, so that doesn't belong to you.
No.
Okay, all right. So you brought that into the. When did you bring that into her? Was that in between the Amscott and?
Yeah, in between Amscott, because I was supposed to. I went to Amscott. Before I went to Amscott, I brought it to her, and then I went to Amscott and came back, and that's when everything happened.
Okay.
So the reason why you brought it to her right then, what was the reason that you brought it at that point in time before you went to Amscott as opposed to after you got back? Is there any reason behind that?
No particular reason.
What was she supposed to do with it? Like, because she was unaware. Like she said, I don't know what.
Right.
Were you going to tell her what to do with it?
Yeah,
get rid of it?
Yeah. Initially, I just said I have something for you. I just want you to put it away.
Right.
I'm going to go to Amscott and do what I need to do. When I got back, then I was going to proceed to tell her the steps to take to what to do.
Right.
And
what did you want her to store it or to get rid of it?
Yeah, I wanted her just to store it because
Okay.
I did purchase the gun with my hard working money.
Right.
Yeah.
So
How long did you purchase
the gun?
I purchased. It's just. September.
So shortly after you started working there, or before you worked?
Shortly after I started working there.
Okay.
Shortly after.
Where'd you buy it from? Maybe he already asked that. Where'd you get that?
No, he has not. I bought
He's
it.
a gun guy, so I defer to him.
I bought it from the gun shop on Gun. I'm sorry, not on Gun, on Fletcher.
Okay. The big one?
The big one.
That's
Shoes World?
Shoes World.
Okay. Was it brand new or was it a used
It
gun?
was a used gun.
Okay. Do you know what generation it is? I don't know if you
Generation
know.
3.
Are you a gun guy too?
Somewhat.
Have you shot? This isn't your first gun. Have you shot before?
It is my first gun.
It is. Oh, okay. All right. Have you shot other guns other people have had before?
No.
No. This is your first ever. Have you put a lot of rounds through this one?
No, not really.
He's like I said, he's a pistol champ. I can shoot well enough to hold my own. But where do you fall on that? Do you have any formal training anywhere? Were you in the military?
No.
Okay. Any formal law enforcement? I know it sounds like just college throughout, right? Okay, but have you put a bunch of rounds through that in practice since you've gotten it?
No practice, just couple trips to the gun store, and shoot.
Which model is it? Because I haven't even seen it.
It's
a 22, 23?
It's a Glock 27.
27, so it's the little compact one?
Compact.
Yeah.
You like it? Since you've been shooting, is it good?
Yeah, it's solid. It fits my hand pretty good, and yeah.
Well, the Gen 3s are good because they changed the finish on them for the new ones. It's not the new ones are, in my opinion, not as good as the Gen 3s. But so did you buy the ammo and everything at Shooters World?
I did.
Okay. What kind of ammo did you get for it?
I got, my ammunition was, I'm not sure.
Not sure.
Did you was it recommended by the guys there?
It was.
Okay.
Did you get like practice ammo, or
No.
did you get like self-defense ammo?
Just self-defense ammo.
And did you shoot it with self-defense ammo?
Yeah.
You did? That's expensive stuff, man.
Yeah.
They tell you not. Did they suggest to you that maybe you want to use practice ammo, or they just?
Well, they want to see how it runs, right?
Yeah,
Make sure
they
that it
just
shoots it right.
They just told me self-defense ammo.
Plus, they sold it to you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm sure. Yeah, that was an upsell. Yeah, okay. All right. What? Did you give her some explanation as to why? What was in the bag? Did she have any idea what she was being handed?
Like I said, initially she wasn't. So it's not on her if she didn't.
Because clearly that's the issue. Is she? Oh my God! What did you just hand me?
Oh,
that's what prompted all of the response.
And she said that she went to ask you, and you were already out the door.
Right.
And so at that point, there happened to be an officer that came to lunch at McDonald's, and she's like, "Hey, I need you to take care of this," because she was worried, she was concerned.
Okay.
So that's how you ended up with the two of us talking to you.
Right.
Just that
the whole scenario struck her as odd. She was concerned because she also said that maybe you were, having some difficulty, and probably the parents thing, as I'm assuming, and thought maybe one of you recently have a death in the family.
A death in the family?
Did you have a death in the family recently?
No.
Okay, so maybe that was who knows what kind of talk was there. But
Yeah.
everybody's talking, putting these together. Like, man, why would he have a gun? And, it's not his. And he seems a little distraught. I think concerned maybe for your well-being ultimately, and then. What did he just hand me, and why didn't he tell me that?
Right.
Now, if you had said, "Hey, I'm about to get on a plane, and I got a 12-year-old brother," that makes perfect sense, right? And maybe she wouldn't have freaked out. But
I got a gun in the car. I can't take you to the airport. Would you mind holding on to it for me? And then she could just make the decision. At that point, it probably would have been like, "No, I don't feel comfortable with that." Okay, well, or
exactly.
no problem.
And that's why I didn't want to tell her initially. Until I got back.
You were afraid she'd be nervous?
Exactly. Which, I didn't want her to freak out or anything like that.
Did you ask her not to look in the bag?
Yeah, I did. I just said, you don't even have to look at it. And then, like she said, before she can ask me, I was probably out the door.
Okay.
Was there anything else in the bag or just the gun?
Just the gun.
Inside the other bag?
Yeah.
Was it loaded?
Was it loaded? It was loaded.
Okay. I was saying, is that... I just can't imagine that you tell her not to look into it. What is she going to do? She's curious as to what the heck is it giving me.
It wasn't
human nature
like that. It was loaded.
Okay.
Just 5 bullets.
No, okay. But it obviously caused alarm and nervous.
I know it did.
Other than the range, have you or anyone else that you know of fired that gun anywhere?
No.
Okay. And the reason I ask this is because we'd like to, anytime we come across a firearm, we'd like to make sure it wasn't previously used in any kind of wrongdoing. All right. So with that being said, do we have your consent to fire that gun, test fire it, in order to make sure it wasn't traced back to something that was inappropriate?
Yes.
Is that okay if we do that?
Yeah.
Okay. For that, I'm gonna fill out a form here. Or try to find a form because there's. But as far as you know, you purchased it legally from the store. Out of the store, it hasn't been out of your control.
No.
Okay, so no chance somebody of yours went and, hey, I'm borrowed to go shoot, came back with it hours later and said, hey, and then went up and stuck up a liquor store or something like that.
Not at all.
Okay, all right. You can attest.
I can attest.
You've been in control of that gun.
Yeah.
As safely as you can make it, with your familiarity with all that.
Yeah.
Okay. So what I'd like to do is, once again, may we test fire that gun to ensure that it hasn't been fired anywhere else.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. All right, let me. We got a multi-purpose form here, so I'm trying to find something that applies in this particular case.
I've got to imagine that's got to be the closest.
It's the closest one.
Yep.
So come here. Are you good? You want something to eat or something? You good for now? Or we're just chatting? Okay. It says consent to search warrant, waiver of search warrant. There is no real consent that we have that applies to test firing a gun. Okay. Most of the time we recover it in any kind of criminal manner, and it's therefore open for us to test fire. In this particular case, we expect this to be cleared up. You can go on your way anytime you'd like, and we'll be able to return this gun to you. And because it's your gun, you bought it, like you said, with hard-earned money. Last thing we want to do is keep a gun from you. But at the same time, we want to make sure that when you walk away, you know that, hey, that gun's cool, right? It's safe. No, it's not going to be.
You also bought it used.
Right.
Make sure.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying it. Yeah, right. So that God
knows who used it
before you, and we keep that stuff in a database.
Mm-hmm.
So then you can comfortably know that, all right, not only did I buy it legally, but then it's been traced by the cops, and there's no wrongdoing attached to this gun, so I can go forward and be comfortable that as long as I keep this out of the wrong hands, and as long as I do all the right stuff with it, that gun's good. Okay. So I'm going to check this block, and I'm going to alter it just to the language. I'm going to do that in front of you. But it says it's a consent to search warrant. What is consent to? I'm going to line through that right there and just write in this line. Test fire firearm. Okay. In this particular case, help me out there again, guys. It's a Glock.
27.
Glock 27. Now, we don't know the serial number on it, I'm sure, unless you know it, unless you're that guy. No.
I'd be impressed by that.
It's located at right now. Where was the last time? Well, you handed it to Miss Walker, right? Do you know what she did with it?
I'm not sure. I mean, I hope she still has it.
No, she definitely still has it. But do you know where was it that you handed it over to her? Was it out on the floor or in the lobby, or was it?
I definitely wouldn't do that. Just kept it professional. We went to the back. I told her I just needed you to hold on something until I got back, and I handed it to her.
The bag?
Yeah.
Okay. And we said handed it was in the bag.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What with that office? Is that a manager's office? Is that like an employee break room? What is that back there?
That is a manager's office in the back.
Do employees have access to that office, or is that specifically for it's kind of for anybody to go and get off the floor when they're having a break or something?
Right.
Okay. It's not locked up. It's not a secure.
No.
Okay. So always go to the manager's office?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know the address there?
Yeah.
Do you know it?
I wrote it down.
Oh.
Yeah. 2101 East 13th.
Now, bear with me on this. We'll walk through this together.
Okay.
This is consent to, right here, test fire firearm, your Glock 27. Okay. Right now it's located at the manager's office in McDonald's at 2101 East 13th Avenue.
Mm-hmm.
And, right on, across to the end here. All right. I give consent to freely and voluntarily without compulsion, threat, or promise of any kind. I understand my constitutional right to refuse. And this applies typically to a search warrant, but I scratched through all that stuff, okay? And when you initially, I want you to acknowledge that that's in fact what we've done here. What this is essentially, on the record, on the tape, is I just want your permission to test fire this gun in order to further compare it to any other potential wrongdoing in the past before it may have come in your hands, or the gun shop's hands even. To eliminate any possibility there's any wrongdoing tied to that gun. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
Okay, do you freely give consent for us to do that?
I do.
Okay. If that's the case, just initial here, and then print and sign your name there. Please just initial right there. Just you read through it, make sure I cross through everything that applies. I don't want, I think we're pulling a fast one on you or something. Print name, and then, sign next to it. What I'm going to do here is I'm just going to fill in the particular 28th day of November. It's the 28th, right?
Yep.
27th on
That's right.
2017. And my name is going here. And my partner Austin's name is going here. What's your badge number, Austin?
465.
465. What I'm going to ask here is the same thing, if you don't mind, because we're kind of freelance this. If you do give us consent, can you write something to the effect that I give Tampa Police consent to test fire Michael out? Something that, in your own words, it doesn't have to be long-winded, just something so we're all on the same page and there's no misunderstanding. I appreciate it, man. Thank you very much for taking the time to meet with us and clear this up, because I think we're all going to feel a little better about the circumstances after this is all squared away. Excuse me 1 second, I got everyone's blowing up my phone here while you take time to write that up.
If you just add Glock 27 so we know that we're talking about the right gun, the same gun. Perfect. And I think there's a place.
Yeah, just sign in. And we'll do it online through this, and I'll both initial the rest. So I'm not adding any to the bottom of that. I also freely give consent for half my paycheck from my future basketball earnings to go to Detective Nightlinger. All right.
All right. So when you bought the gun, did they sell you one box of ammo?
They did.
Just one?
Just one.
Just initial next to me there.
Did you take it to their range to test fire it?
Thanks.
Did you test fire to their range? Is there a range there?
No, I didn't. No.
Where'd you go to shoot it?
I just shot it outside.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know what that's.
Shot it outside?
Yeah.
At the range?
No, not at the range.
Oh, where did you fire it at?
What a fucking idiot. He's like admitted to like 2 crimes now already. Yeah, I just went outside and fired it. You fucking idiot. Holy shit, what a retard. Oh my Christ.
At the range.
Oh, where did you?
I don't know what that's.
Shot it outside?
Yeah.
I'm taking notes of this.
The range there?
No.
To their range? Is there a range there?
No, I didn't. No.
Where'd you go to shoot it?
I just shot it outside.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know what that's.
Shot it outside?
Yeah.
At the range?
No, not at the range.
Oh, where did you fire it at?
Up the street somewhere. It wasn't much. Just one shot.
One shot, like into the ground or something?
Yeah.
You said there were 5 bullets in it?
Right now there is.
Okay. Is that in the magazine, like 4 in the magazine, 1 in the chamber, or are they all in the magazine?
No, they're all in the magazine.
Nothing in the chamber?
Nothing in the chamber.
Okay. Is the rest of the ammunition in the box still?
No ammunition in the box.
Okay. Do you have the ammo box, like in the car? Did you keep it? Got rid of it? Okay.
So, as far as all the ammunition you have to that gun is just the 5 that are still intended?
Excuse me?
The 5 that are in it right now, that's all you have left of all the ammo you purchased with that gun?
That's correct.
Okay. You test fired all the rest, or test fired, I mean, you practice with all the rest of it?
Yeah.
Okay, haven't purchased any more since then? Was it 1 box?
1 box.
Okay. All right. Did you give a driver's license? Did somebody get that from you? Or?
Yeah, I don't have anything on me that I had.
Is it still in your car, or did somebody take it? Did an officer take it from you?
Yeah, officer had it.
Do you have a wallet or something on you?
Yeah, I had the wallet.
It's
I had
standard, and we'll.
Okay, but I want to make sure that you have that, because if you do decide, if anytime you want to get up and out of here, I'm sure you would like to have your belongings with it as well. Where do you? Did the officers come up with it? Do you know, or did they?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure who.
Let me find out from you, man. If you don't mind.
No, I don't. Yeah, just talking about that before, they will sell you the most expensive box of ammunition to go to the range. when you can buy cheap stuff at Walmart and shoot all day long.
Really?
Yeah.
So
like he said, it's an upsell.
It's an upsell.
Exactly.
Just so they get there.
Right. Because the hollow point self-defense ammunition is a lot more expensive than getting practice ammo at Walmart.
Right.
So they will at the gun shops. You got to know a little bit about it, or you run the risk. Now buying a used Glock is a really good choice because they hold their value.
Right.
So whatever you paid for it, as long as you don't scratch it up and slide it across the ground and everything else, you'll get out of it.
Okay.
Right. If you ever needed to sell it, if you needed to, like you said, get out of town, get a plane ticket or whatever, it's kind of a currency. It's kind of like having a Rolex.
Right.
You can always sell a Rolex, no problem.
Right.
Any pawn shop in the world.
That's correct. Okay.
So same thing with a Glock. You go buy a high point, and you might get a third of what you paid for it when you try to sell it.
Okay.
But Glock will always sell.
Okay. What? Okay. So what do you guys carry?
We carry 6. So
I saw that
6 hours. Yeah.
Are those the best?
They're not my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be honest with you. I think for a police officer, I don't think you can do better than a Glock.
Right.
You can spend more money if you want, but I don't think you can get better gun. So that's kind of the way I look at it. Now I carry what they gave me. I can go buy a Glock that's one of the approved guns. I haven't done it because I haven't had any problems with this one. But I'm not, it's all right. But I don't think it's worth the extra money you spend on it.
Okay.
Glocks are very simple guns, so they always function.
Basic.
Yep. 34 parts, I think, is in a Glock. The SIG that we carry is like 50-something. Yeah, so it's like 50% more parts. That's that many more things go wrong.
Okay.
Right? So, no, I like them, but we don't carry them anymore. We used to. We had Glocks, and then we got Smith & Wesson M&Ps, and then we got the SIGs.
Okay.
So, in changing calibers from 9mm to 40, and then back to 9.
Okay.
So.
And I mean, just for future reference, as far as self-defense, what's more? What do regular people use for self-defense?
The FBI came out with a study that said that 9mm was actually the most effective, and it was for a lot of different reasons. Ballistically, it's almost as good as 40 or 45, but you can control a 9mm a lot better. The recoil is not nearly as much. 40 is a snappy. It's a high pressure round, right? So it's a significant amount of recoil, especially in a compact gun.
Okay.
In a full-size gun, you can control a little better, but I'll be honest with you, I've owned pretty much all of them, and I would rather shoot a 45 than a 40 as far as recoil. I don't think it's as snappy.
As snappy as the 40.
Because it's not a high-pressure round. A 45 is a big round, but it's slow-moving. 40, fast-moving round that's still pretty heavy, you're going to get a lot of recoil. Because it's all physics, right? Heavy round coming out on this end is going to give you that much recoil on the back end. So what they figured out studying law enforcement is that for us, 9mm was the way to go because the control and the follow-up shots, right? So 40 is a little bit better ballistically. 45 is a little bit better than that ballistically, but the 9mm, you've got capacity, you've got recoil management, right? Follow-up shots, you don't have it jumping around all over the place. So that's what ultimately led our department to go back to 9. They went to 40 because there were some concerns over effectiveness of 9mm. I don't think they were ever really valid, but now that 9mm ammo is, it's all technology based too. All these ammunitions have changed over the years and evolved, and 9mm is right there. I mean, it is almost as good as the others, and you can typically carry a couple more rounds. You can fit more in the magazine, and like I said, recoil. It's just a different level. Have you ever shot a 9mm?
No.
So if you have an opportunity to shoot your 40 caliber Glock side by side with a 9mm, you'll probably want to switch.
Really?
It's that different.
Wow.
Yep. 40 is real snappy, and with the 9 you can stay almost. I mean, if you're using your control in your muscles, you can stay almost level on target with very little muzzle flip. With the 40, it's a lot harder.
What about range?
I don't think there's a significant difference in handgun ammo. The 9 is a real nice flat shooting round, but as far as range, handgun ammo, we shoot on the pistol team. We shoot out to 50 yards with the handgun, and it's still lethal and effective. Any further than that, your sights aren't good enough.
Right.
You can't shoot an accurate. I mean, it's hard to shoot at 50 yards. It took me several years to get proficient even at that. But beyond that, your sights aren't effective. So forget about the ammo being effective. You can't shoot what you're hitting at. You can't hit what you're shooting at. So you got to go to a rifle at that point where you have a long sight radius, where those little adjustments where you're not quite perfect on a pistol, where your sight radius is this long, that's going to throw the bullet inches way off. On a rifle, it might be millimeters, because the sight radius is so long. So that's, I wouldn't have any concerns about range whatsoever.
Yeah.
And typically most handgun battles, gunfights, are within like 3 yards. They're not happening at a significant distance. It's somebody physical altercation, or it's usually really close. It's possible you might have to one day take one long range shot, but it's not likely. Most cops even, I think it's 3 to 7 yards is the distance for most gunfights. So yeah, it's not really in the real world, not a big concern. I mean, it's more of an academic thing. People think of, well, what could go wrong if I've got this type of gun or this type of ammo, but more importantly, what really happens in the real world. In the real world, gunfights are close distance.
Close distance,
yeah, they're not happening from far away.
Right.
So,
yeah, you know your stuff.
No, I've been shooting and collecting and competing for a long time, and it's something I enjoy. Yeah, and I think if you're proficient at it, it's even more fun. It's like being a basketball player. If you're not a good player, it's not a lot of fun to play basketball. Not a lot of fun for me to play basketball, right? But it's fun for me to go shoot because I can do it well.
Exactly.
So. But no, Glock is a good choice. A lot of people cheap out on their first gun, especially. They'll buy a Taurus, or they'll buy a High Point, or they'll buy a Jennings or something because it's only $150 to $250. So it's a little bit harder to swallow that, $400 or $500 for a Glock.
Right.
But it's worth it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd spent close to $400.
That was just on the gun?
Just on the gun,
right.
Yeah.
Like I said, you could turn around and sell it for exactly what you paid for it.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, if you bought it new, you would take a hit on it. But since you bought it used, it's already a used gun. You're getting a used price, and if you're not, like I said, dinging it up, scratching it up, and everything else, and it looks just like it did when you bought it, it's going to be worth the same amount. So nobody's going to know how many rounds you fired through it. Nobody's going to know if it was 15 or 5,000, and maybe some parts are starting to get worn out. Nobody's going to know. But even 5,000 is not a lot for a Glock. They got Glocks out there shooting 100,000 rounds. Yeah, which is big money. That's the thing. Ammo gets expensive when you shoot.
Yeah,
it's one of the reasons I'm on the pistol team, because the department provides the ammo for the pistol team, so I get to shoot and practice for free.
Gee.
So that part. So I have to buy the guns, most of them. I have to buy the guns. They issue me this one to carry on duty, but this isn't a good competition gun.
Right.
So, and good guns are competition guns are real expensive. But other than that,
yeah, Glock is.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, for a gun that you're going to carry for self-defense or for a cop on duty, like I said, I just don't think you can do any better. Spend more money if you want to, but I don't think you're going to get a better gun. You might get incremental differences. Trigger might be a little bit better on this brand, but you can't beat the finish on a Glock. Like I said, the Generation 3, we had those at my old agency, and in and out of holsters and everything else, they still look new. Whereas the guns that we got here, even within a short period of time, you can see the wear on them because the finish isn't as good. But and they just work.
Yeah.
So that was a good choice.
Okay.
A good choice.
Well, initially I wanted a 30S. That's what I wanted initially, but they didn't have it. I think they said that they only sell it to, you have to be military or something along those lines, because the 30S was a little bit more compact. The 30S had the lighter slide, and it was still 45 caliber.
And that's single stack? Was it single stack 45?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just bought a single stack 9mm, a little same reason, a little bit slimmer, easier to carry, easier to conceal, that sort of thing. So, but again, in New York, a whole different ball game. Because I can tell you in Florida, like I said, if you have a Tupperware container with a lid on it, that gun per statute, container with a lid. That's all it says. So that's all you need. But in New York, it's totally different story.
Totally different story.
You'll be worried about your ammunition. Because there's some places, I know Virginia is one of them, where you can't have hollow point ammunition whatsoever. So even if you're a police officer and you're driving through Virginia, I think maybe for your duty gun, if you're carrying that, you might be all right. But if you're carrying an off-duty gun, if you're carrying a personally owned gun, and you've got hollow points in it, they will charge you. You can't have hollow points, period, in that state.
Wow.
So I don't know what it is for New York for ammunition, but even that stuff gets regulated.
Wow.
Florida, we joke that it's the gun-shine state.
It literally is.
It's wide open.
Gee.
You can buy pretty much whatever you want as long as you're not a convicted felon. You're over 21. Fair game. You wait your 3 days, and I'm sure you dealt with a 3-day waiting period.
Yeah, I did.
And even we have to, if a cop doesn't have a concealed weapons permit, we have to wait 3 days, which is absurd, right? Because they give us a gun. We clearly are carrying a gun, but we still got to wait the 3-day waiting period when we buy a new one, unless you have a concealed weapons permit.
Okay.
If you get your permit, then there's no waiting period. You just go in and buy it.
Right.
So.
Okay. That makes me feel better.
What's that?
Just the all your knowledge, your information.
I think that it's important because there's a lot of rumor that gets out there, like the 2 steps, 3 steps away from it and that sort of stuff, and then you're trying to interpret what that means. Best thing to do, all of the Florida statutes are online. You can go right on there and search for firearm stuff. It's all combined into one chapter, and you can look line by line. How can I transport this thing? What is it? How is it considered to be a concealed weapon? And if it's in a car, what do I need to do? And word for word, container with a lid or snapped in a holster. Okay. Those are your options. And then once it's in that form, it is. It can be under your seat. It can be tucked in the mat pocket behind behind the seat next to you. It can be wherever, as long as it's either in a container with a lid or snapped in a holster.
It is. Can I see it, please? You don't have to pull it out. That's fine. Oh, well. Okay. There you go. All right. I just want to fill this form out here. Is that a driver's license?
It is.
Okay. All right.
Which I need another one.
Listen, I got ahead of myself on this one. The consent thing is, and maybe I assumed it was understood, but let me explain to you. The gun, we obviously we don't shoot it in the McDonald's bathroom. Okay. We have to actually take it to a safe place, a lab, fire it to do that. Do we still have your consent to actually take the gun into our possession? I can't promise you it's going to be back in your hands tonight, but if you plan on leaving anyway, but ultimately you will be allowed to get it back. But for the time being, we need to take it to a lab, test fire it when that lab is available to us to fire. Is it okay if we seize that gun in order to take it, in order to fire it and test fire?
Absolutely.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I obviously crossed through this, but
just, where would I?
So what happens? It comes into our property. So once they take it in, they fill out a form that says we're taking this gun to this lab, and once it's done, they package it up in a box, goes to our property room, and that is associated with you and your name. They will then, we will probably call you.
Yeah, we have a separate unit that what does is return it back to the person. We have reason as a separate unit because what that person does is make sure between the time that you give it up to us and the time we return it to you that you haven't since been convicted of a felony. You haven't since been admitted for any mental evaluation to make sure the gun's still safe to give it back to its rightful owner, which would be you in this case.
But they will reach back out to you.
I wasn't clear about that, but it might be a couple days. It may not be, like I said, if they're not firing into the ground right now, so here you go.
My only question is, where once the whole deal is over, you guys have it back in your possession after it's tested.
Yes.
Where do you mail it? Do you send it?
We work that out with you.
Okay.
We'll contact you. We'll reach out to you and say, hey, we're done with it. Thanks, man. Where are you? Are you in New York now? We'll send it back to you. Are you still telling me I'll drive it over to you? Or if you're at McDonald's, I'll bring it over to you there.
Possibly through email.
You mean the communication?
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of which, what is the best way to reach out to you? Do you have a phone number?
Phone's off. Like I said, I've been just working just to.
How long has it been off? Been a while?
It's been too long, but I'm going to get it on.
Do you have that phone with you now?
When you're 24, and
I don't have it.
Did you have it?
I
So it's
did
probably okay. Yeah, it's probably with the rest. I just pulled your wallet to bring it to you. Okay. What was the phone number? What is the phone number that was associated with it?
813-504-0007.
And you plan on keeping that number to reach out to you? So we can reach out to you again?
The best form of contact would be email, HowellDonaldson@gmail.com.
Your name, Donaldson, all together?
Yes.
Okay. At gmail.com. Okay. (813-504-0007) was the number, but you don't plan on keeping that number. It may not be in service. And who's that provider with?
That provider is AT&T.
AT&T. Okay. How long? And you said how long has the service been off? It's been off for, since September, or
a month. It's been off a month.
It's been a month, so all of November.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'll make a little note of the service is off, so I don't call it and wonder why you're not available. All right. With the gun, obviously, you said the ammunition. There's no more ammunition. Okay. Your car is at the McDonald's right now. We would like your permission, again, with your permission, to search that vehicle for any remnants of any other firearm or bullets.
Okay.
Okay. But again, may we have your consent to search your car? Is there anything in there that's going to get you in trouble? It's going to be, volunteer that now, because we're only looking for specific things.
Nothing.
Okay. Can we have your consent to search your car for firearm evidence or any other inappropriate evidence that we might come across linking you to any crime? There's not any of that in there, is there?
No.
Okay. With that being said, may we have consent to search your car?
Yes.
Okay. Now, this form is specifically for that, so I don't have to cross through anything. All right. It's the same thing. I'm just not going to be, lining through all this stuff. All right. What kind of car do you have?
Oh man, this guy is just giving up everything. Jesus, criminals, man, they're really fucking dumb. I'm gonna go to sleep. This interrogation, if anybody's even here, if anybody's listening to this, if you want to finish it yourself, you can go to YouTube, type in the search blue dot interrogations. It's their latest upload. It's a 4-hour interrogation, so I'm gonna listen to it from bed, I think.